Hello and welcome, Incubo here, and today I'm gonna give you guys my breakdown of my first ever regional. I want to try to share with you guys some of my experiences last few days. I actually made it to the top 32, which means that I've made it to day 2. I played 9 rounds, and I had a really good time in general. I learned a lot, guys, so I want to try to share my team with you, my analysis of my hard matchups and what my team excelled at, as well as sharing some of my opinions on the event in general and as well as other people team. So if you guys enjoy this type of video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel, please. It really helps me to continue to produce this type of content. But yeah, let's go right into it. So yeah, the tournament was really intense, man. I've never seen such a close final. And the final, I have to tell you guys, I don't think it was streamed necessarily on the official channel, but we had a Marcus team that I'm going to be playing on my next video, by the way, against a Mexican player by the name of Daniel. And the final was awesome. We had some great moments, and the last game, they were tied 1-1, and Daniel was losing the game to the Chen Pao and Tay combination of Marcus's team. And then right at the end, Chiyu got a surprise burn from a heat wave that managed to secure the game by some miracle for Daniel, who won the tournament. So if you want to check him on social media, he's actually a really good player that I've met a few times here on my home country. So I'll leave you guys his X if you want to check his team and his comments on the results, as well as just following him in general, because I really do think that we need to push all of these players forward. And I'm gonna do my part as a content creator, guys. So check both Marcus and Daniel social media if you are interested in their teams. And honestly, great tournament, loved it. I want to go to even more tournaments now. Like, the adrenaline of playing against really good players got me hyped up so much that I want to do it again. I might get addicted to playing against really good players. As long as I can always stream, but I can always compete. So I'll try to balance both so I can continue to both create content and participate against really, really strong players, guys. But that's it. So I decided to go with the Caly Shadow Rider. The reason being, I think, honestly, is the strongest restricted that we have in this format. It doesn't have as much flexibility as some of the other must play right now, like Miraidon or some Ascenta, but it does have access to a lot of freaking damage. So my thought process was, I'm gonna try to push the damage from the Caly as high as I can and grab my opponents by surprise by dealing a lot more damage than they expect in this matchup. And that's why I went with the choice specs here. These choice specs and this modest EV spread allows me to deal a lot more damage than people expect, around a 50-something% more, actually. And it's going to allow me to do some one-hit KOs that otherwise would be impossible. And I decided to go with 76 on speed, because we're going to be outsped by Chen Pao and Miraidon anyway. Anything that goes above 130 are going to probably outspeed us. So I am not too worried about that, because we're running a lot of speed control. We're running Indiri with the Psychic Surge and the Trick Room. We're running a Chiyu with Choice Scarf. And finally, we're running Regieleki with Electro Web and Whimsicott with Tailwind. So we have a lot of ways to try to boost our speed or try to go before the opponent in this team. Obviously, we're trying to get the first move and deal as much damage as we can, because we put our opponent on the backhand of it. They're going to struggle to come back into the game once we get some extra damage onto that first lead. So we have 180 on HP. We want to try to survive a few more hits, because we're going to be slower than usual. And since we're really reliant on these choice picks, we need to be at least able to survive an instant with knockoff. That is a really important break point of this team. We can in fact survive a knockoff from that instant. Really scary usually for the Caly Shadows, but the only way we can do that is by going Terra Ghost. Now Terra Ghost is going to further increase our damage with Astral Barrage or Shadow Ball, and it's going to allow us to survive that very strong knockoff from the instant. And other thing we're going to be able to survive, actually, is another enemy Chiyus, Snarls, and Dark Pulse. We can actually survive with Dark Pulse with this build, as long as we're going with the Ghost Terra, guys. So this is a really strong build because we get access to the Barrage, as usual. We get access to Expanding Force because of that Psychic Surge terrain. And with access to some other 2 moves that we're going to have to go offensive because we're running the choice picks. So the way I like to think this is, you guys, if you guys play this on ladder, you should probably go with something else. Maybe like Fighting Terra and Terra Blast to have more coverage. But I decided to go with Leaf Storm because I really hate Kyogre teams. And just having the threat of more damage against an open sheet opponent gives me an edge, I do believe. That's why I'm running the Leaf Storm. And the Shadow Ball is just to have access to single target in case we have to worry about something like White Guard on a Sama Senta team, for example, right? So this is my reasoning as to why I went with Astral Barrage, Expanding Force, Leaf Storm, and Shadow Ball. This is a really strong team, guys. It's performed great against most matchups. I'm going to go over my bad matchups in a second here. So if you want to just go aggro, guys, and really hit really hard, this might be the team for you. So before I move into the matchups and strengths and weaknesses, I just wanted to go over the team. And pretty simple, fairy type, Indeedee. Follow me, Helping Hand, Trick Room, all the good stuff. You can go with Psychic here, you can go with Alluring Voice. Pretty bulky version of this, Indeedee. I went with the usual Choice Scarf, Chiyu, Heatwave Snarl, Dark Pulse, Overheat, trying to outspeed enemy Caly Shadows with this set. Again, pretty straightforward. And finally, I went with Fake Tears on my Whimsicott. Now, the reason why I went with the Fake Tears and Ghost Terra is sometimes in turn 1, people are not expecting the Fake Tears into the Astral Barrage because they feel like they have that covered down by the Incense or the Restricted. For example, if we're going against some Caly Ice teams and they're running Clear Amulet and Incense, because of the Prankster, we cannot use those Fake Tears, and we cannot use it because of the Clear Amulet. So the Caly Ice Incense is the one team we probably can combo against, but everything else is a free market, guys. If you go for Fake Tears and do an Astral Barrage, you're going to completely destroy everything. And I mean everything. There's nothing in this meta that can survive an Astral Barrage and a Fake Tears, with the exception of somebody who is normal, of course. And it is going to threaten a lot of Pokemon that would usually be safer because they have a high special defense, right? I'm thinking about, I don't know, Miraidon, usually people with Fairy Terra, Floramain, feeling safe, Caly. We cannot use it against Caly Ice, but it's gonna hit really hard either way, so we're not worried about that. I mean, Fake Tears, Astral Barrage is such a strong combo, guys, and you're gonna be able, if you play this on ladder, to get a lot of KOs that people are not expecting, because they're both gonna respect your speed, and you're gonna be able to get off a lot of extra damage into unsuspecting opponents if you play this on ladder. If you play this on the open sheet tournament, then you might consider a couple changes that I'm going to go over at the end. But this is a really strong combo that I would really recommend you guys try. And finally, we have the Rapid Strike Urshifu. Again, pretty standard. We're running Mystic Water with Water Terra, Surgeon Strikes, Close Combat, Aqua Jet, and Detect. And finally, the Regieleki with Speed Control and Cover Cloak for those nasty fake outs. We just want to try to outspeed some stuff that we usually wouldn't be able to. For example, some Floramains, for example, Miraidon. Miraidon is going to be faster than this version of Caly Shadow, so we want to try to, you know, threaten that speed with the Electro Web. And finally, the Bolt Switch, just to try to pivot around our stronger choices if we have an incorrect or weak lead against the opponent team. And I think that's it, guys. You can switch this Protect for Thunder Wave if you want. Probably a good idea. I never did use this Protect in the tournament, so maybe you could consider that. Or you could even consider switching the Regieleki for a Floramain Speed Control with Icy Wind version. That also would probably go really well with the team. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the team. The idea is you can lead with Caly Shadow against 80% of the enemy teams and either threaten a Trick Room, a Tailwind, or a Electro Wave to make sure that we always go first with the Caly and connect those super strong Astral Barrage with the Ghost Terra. And the obviously difficult matchups are going to be things that have a lot of normal types. I actually played one round and lost against Riley. one of the really consistent and really good competitive players that I've seen in a couple of worlds. So I was humbled by that guy, and he had a really strong Miraidon team. The thing is, he brought Miraidon plus Ursaluna, the normal version, and I had no access to his backline. So all he had to do was bring in the Incen and the Ursaluna, and I was completely walled off from the restricted Pokemon. So in that case, you're going to probably struggle to take down either the Ursaluna or the Incen unless you have a better plan than me. You could probably lead with Urshifu in those circumstances and either play it for the Indeedee Helping Hand Surging Strikes, or maybe like a Water type Aqua Jet straight into the slot that you suspect is going to have the Incen or the Ursaluna, for example, right? If you're going against Ursaluna. But yeah, you're going to struggle against those teams that have like a Walling, normal type, and the Incen in general are really hard to come to defeat on the lead. But there's a way around it if you have an experienced Spontaneous team. And finally, the Terrapagos, our worst match by far, guys. It's not even funny how bad we are against Terrapagos. We had to coin flip every single lead, and if we threw a single mistake, it's over for us. Obviously, we cannot damage the Terrapagos unless they go for the Terra, and if they go for a Terra, we just clear the Psychic Train, so we cannot do Expanding Force. So it's a really difficult match, and you have to really play around your strengths. If you're going against the passive Terrapagos, you can go for the Regieleki Ball Switch, try to break it, and then you can think about going into the Urshifu so we don't get damage down from the Incen, because they're going to have an Incen. Of course they're going to have an Incen, and you're going to get your damage down because of Intimidate. We don't have clear Amulet here, so it's going to be tough. But if you play it patiently, you hold on the back your Caly and your Terra, you're probably going to be able to take down those KOs at the end and win the match. Although it's not going to be easy. So that is our weaknesses with this team. We're kind of locked in with the Astral Barrage. Sometimes we're not going to be able to switch out the Caly, so we are locked into Astral, even though we would love to be able to use Leaf Storm or the Expanding Force at will. But I still think that the Choice Picks is such a strong item because there's a couple of breakpoints that we're getting that would be otherwise impossible. I'll give you guys an example. If you're going against a Caly Ice, and they go for Fairy Terra, we Fairy Ghost, we Helping Hand, and we're going to guarantee that the enemy Caly goes down in a single hit. I have the team accounted for, so we can use Ghost Terra, Astral Barrage, Helping Hand, and get a one-hit KO on a otherwise impossible to take down Caly Ice Fairy Terra. And people are not going to be expecting this, I promise you guys, both in tournaments and in the ladder. So again, we have to pay a price for this amount of damage, but we're happy to pay it because we have a lot of support Pokemon that can help us maneuver around those threats. You're going to struggle against Dark-type Pokemon that are really speedy. For example, Roaring Moon is a really big threat. If you're going against a Roaring Moon, you might consider going for the lead with Urshifu. If you're going against something with a normal type and a dark type, you might consider also leading with Urshifu or Whimsicott, because you're going to be able to pivot around easier and protect your very, very important Caly Shadows. But that's pretty much the breakdown of the team, guys. If you only want the PokePaste or the rental code, you can freely check it down in the description. I'm going to put those two there so you guys can try the team yourself. And if you guys try my team, just let me know how it felt. Any changes that you would like to make to the team that you would recommend me do for the future tournaments, I am also happy to hear. But I want to hear from you guys and tell me what you think about this very, very aggressive Caly Shadow team. So pretty much that's it, guys. Let me just close this for a second. And I think overall I performed really well. I made a few mistakes on the Terrapagos matchup because I honestly didn't have enough practice against it. But I feel confident that if I had to redo everything again, I would be able to learn from my mistakes and perform even better, guys. So I have a couple of regionals coming up in a few months from now, and we're going to try to go for those and get a top 8. I know that is kind of greedy and ambitious since I'm kind of new at the competitive scene, but I promise you guys, I'm going to be practicing a lot to try to bring you guys both great entertainment and great tournament results so you guys can continue to enjoy my content and my streams. So If you guys have any suggestion as to what I should be playing next for both my streams or my channel or any tournament, I always take and read all of your comments and all of your criticism and all your recommendation down in the description or down in the comments, sorry. So I'll be sure to check those this time again. I really do appreciate, guys. I love you all, and I hope that we can continue to push the BGC community forward for both my country in Mexico and in general for the game. I am really excited for all the announcements we're going to be getting soon for the Pokemon Day and the Pokemon Direct, sorry. So I hope that I can continue to share with you guys all of my experiences for future tournaments. And I think that's it for today, guys. If you guys, one more time, sorry, enjoy my content for both or either Pokemon TCG Pocket or Pokemon BGC. I always do appreciate all your feedback and for you guys to like the video and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in future videos. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.